The room insists on silence, the way a vacuum insists on obedience. Everyone waits for the moment to complete itself. The system hums softly, impatient in the background, counting heartbeats that are not mine. I am told this is ceremonial, which is another way of saying no one expects anything real to happen. She is the one who suggested it, not formally, almost as an aside. "You choose," she said, with a flicker in her eyes that suggested the idea was a joke she would never have to explain. Choice here is decorative, like handles on doors that never open. They line up, perfectly spaced, perfectly evaluated. The collective approval metrics hover invisibly, projected straight into everyone's awareness. I can feel the galaxy leaning forward, curious but confident. I will do the sensible thing. I consider asking where the exit is, but that would prolong the silence, and the silence already looks offended. I ask what happens if I refuse. Several minds stutter at once. Someone somewhere logs this as an unexpected inquiry. She watches me, alarmed now, the way someone looks at a pet that has learned to speak full sentences. "Just pick," she murmurs. "It doesn't matter." I grin. This is usually where it matters most. I point at her, not dramatically. No pause. Just a simple gesture, like choosing a seat. The system does not react. It hesitates. I swear I hear it clear its throat. Her eyes widen, and immediately she shakes her head, a small frantic motion. I didn't mean, "You're supposed to—" She stops because everyone is staring at her now, and being stared at is not something this society practices recreationally. A ripple of recalculations spreads. Status indicators flicker, then blink out entirely. The room warms, a fraction of a degree, which I later learn is a sign of institutional distress. Someone laughs. It's not me. That makes it worse. I try to help. "If it helps," I say, "this wasn't strategic. I just liked how you looked. Bored." That sentence is recorded. It will be analyzed for decades. She exhales something between a laugh and a groan. "You've made me incorrect." "Join the club," I tell her. "We have jackets. They don't fit anyone." The system finally responds by flagging her as an anomaly. The word lands heavily, like a diagnosis delivered without bedside manners. She goes very still. I consider making another joke, but decide to let the first one fail on its own. "What happens now?" I ask. No one answers. The galaxy, it turns out, has not planned for this outcome. And she, no longer properly categorized, is being seen, truly seen for the first time. She looks at me then, not with gratitude, not with fear, but with something sharper, possibility. And despite myself, I realize I have just chosen more than a person. I have chosen a problem. The system does not accuse her out loud. It prefers subtler humiliations. Her access pauses half a second longer than everyone else's. Doors ask her to confirm intent. Public thought streams politely reroute around her presence, like conversations lowering their voices when you enter a room. She notices everything. Of course she does. Being overlooked trains you to detect absence the way predators detect movement. I try to act normal, which, in this place, means I fail immediately. "So," I say, matching my pace to hers as we walk, "on my planet, this is the part where someone offers coffee and pretends nothing's wrong." She snorts before she can stop herself. The sound freezes two nearby observers. Humor here is tolerated only in controlled quantities, like radiation. Pretending is inefficient, she says. But I would accept the coffee. That's humanity for you, I reply. We run on hot drinks and denial. The system listens. It always listens. It flags the exchange as bonding behavior, then quietly increases her monitoring parameters. I can feel the pressure building, like a storm that hasn't decided where to land. She stops suddenly. You shouldn't stay near me. Too late, I say. I'm already emotionally invested. It's a condition. That word again, she mutters. Emotionally. We are summoned without being told. The kind of invitation that arrives directly in your thoughts, heavy with expectation. She stiffens, then exhales slowly, as if reminding herself how to occupy space. I admire that. Humans have a whole industry dedicated to relearning it. Inside the chamber, the collective interface flickers. Questions arrive layered on top of each other, elegant and merciless. Why was she chosen? What deviation does she represent? Is this behavior contagious? I answer before she can stop me. I picked her because you didn't, I say, and because she asked me to choose, not to comply. Also, statistically speaking, I panic when given forms. There is a pause. Somewhere, a probability collapses. She looks at me like I've just insulted a god with a pie. I grin back. It's reflexive. Fear and humor share a border in my brain. The system redirects its attention. It tries to isolate her value from my presence. It fails. Apparently, being chosen by a human introduces noise into the equation. The galaxy hates noise. Later, time here is flexible, but consequences aren't. We sit in a space that is not officially assigned to either of us. She studies her hands, then laughs quietly. I am being discussed in rooms I am not permitted to enter. Congratulations, I say. You've made it. She shakes her head. They don't know what to do with me. They'll figure it out, I say. Or they'll blame me. We're great for that. She meets my eyes then. No metrics, no overlays. Just a look that weighs risk and decides to stand anyway. If they remove me, she says, it will be because of choice. I nod. Yeah, that's usually how it starts. The system watches. It recalculates. And somewhere deep in its flawless logic, a joke begins to form that it does not yet understand. The system announces its decision the way it announces sunrise, as if it were inevitable, as if no one had argued with it for 3 consecutive cycles. Her status is updated, not restored, not erased, but reclassified into something new and deeply uncomfortable. Individual consideration. The phrase ripples outward, misunderstood, and impossible to retract. She reads it once, then again, then laughs. That sounds like a polite warning label. It does, I say. On my planet, we'd put it on fireworks. The collective does not dissolve. It adapts, awkwardly. Some doors stop asking her for confirmation. Others ask twice. A few open before she reaches them, which causes a minor internal panic among the planners. The system cannot fully isolate her anymore. Too many others have begun noticing what choice looks like up close. They don't overthrow anything. That would be dramatic. And this society dislikes drama unless it can be graphed. Instead, they hesitate. They question. A dangerous habit spreads. Someone else asks to be chosen. Someone else refuses a ranking. The system logs, all of it as temporary instability, and quietly extends the definition of temporary. We are offered separation, politely, generously, for the good of equilibrium. She declines before I can make a joke. That's new. She doesn't look at the interfaces when she does it. She looks at me. I used to think being seen was a threat, she says. Now, I think disappearing was. I nod, because somewhere along the way, I stopped being the only reckless one in the room. The galaxy recalculates again and decides not to force the issue. I am cleared to leave. She is cleared to remain. Neither of us likes the symmetry. At the departure gate, she studies me the way someone studies a mirror they no longer need. You didn't mean to do this, she says. No, I admit. I mostly just didn't want to fill out paperwork. She smiles fully this time, unmeasured and unsanctioned. You chose me. Yeah, I say, turns out that mattered. When I step through, the system does not correct the story it has begun telling itself. Choice remains in circulation like a rumor with good timing. She watches the stars resume their orderly behavior, knowing they will never quite go back. As for me, I return home with fewer assumptions and a new appreciation for how dangerous kindness can be. Somewhere in the galaxy, a woman stands without permission, and a civilization learns, slowly and unwillingly, that being chosen is not an error. It's a beginning.